and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then my name's Amber and I'm a first year medical student in the UK. And if you're not new, then thanks so much for coming back for another video. Please don't forget to subscribe down below, it means so much. And like and comment if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to turn post notifications on. So today I thought I'd film a video all about what is on my iPad, mainly related to medical school. Obviously I have got other kind of entertainment apps on there as well, but mostly I use my iPad for university. I have the iPad that's the 7th generation. It's the one that came out in 2019, and it is the 10.2 inch iPad. It's not the Air, it's not the Pro, it's just your bog standard iPad. And to be honest, I don't think you need anything else for uni. Obviously if you want to have the extra features of the Pro or the Air, then that's fine, but you can still do notes on GoodNotes, Notability. You can still use all the apps just on the normal iPad, and for the price of it, I think it's such a good investment for university. It's a complete game changer. If you are interested in how I take my notes, then I have filmed that video on my channel, so please check that out. But today it's purely just going to be about what apps are on my iPad. So I have this pink case on my iPad. It's just pink on the front and it's clear on the back, and that's from Amazon. I'll leave a link to it below. And then my iPad just looks like this. Yes, I have cracked it all at the bottom for the second time since I've had it. I completely shattered my screen last year because I dropped my plug on it. And then I don't even know how I did this. I just pressed the button and it just cracked. And then I've noticed today, oh my God, it's gone even further again since holding it up. Oh dear. It's cracked all the way down to the end now.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Anyway, so this is my iPad and I will start recording for you. So on the home screen of my iPad, as you can see, I just have all kind of the basic apps that come on the iPad just laid out. I don't overly use too many of them. I'll often use FaceTime, obviously photos and camera, but I don't really take pictures on my iPad. It's normally just kind of screenshots that I've taken of my lecture slides, or obviously pictures that have been pulled over from my phone. The rest of the apps I really do not use that much. Sometimes a calculator, but again, most of it's on my phone. Obviously at the bottom I have my messages, my Spotify, as I like that in kind of a really accessible place, my emails, which I really need to clear down, and Safari, of course. And then this extra 3 bit is just kind of the last 3 apps that I used, which is really handy because when I'm doing my notes, it's often GoodNotes and my app that I use for my university lectures that are always there, so I can just really quickly go back to them without having to go in a folder. So then over on the next page, again, all the apps at the top I do not use. I really should just put them in a separate little folder. But so here I just have the shopping one, which is obviously all the apps just for my online clothes shopping. I have a travel one with just hotels and stuff. This is all from when I was looking for holidays last year. Wish we could do that now. And then I have the entertainment folder, which is all like my Netflix, all the different players to watch programs on, and then social media ones, which is just obviously pretty self-explanatory. All my social media ones and my YouTube apps. Countdown, I don't even know why that's there. That should probably go into a different folder. Okay, and then I literally have some games that I've not played, and that's like a colouring in thing that you can do with the Apple Pencil, which I like to do sometimes when I'm really bored. And then literally lifestyle, a couple of extra ones, and then I will get on to the main part of the video now, which is all in my productivity folder. There's no particular way that this is organised, it's literally just all the apps that I need for uni in there. So starting from the first one, Word on my iPad, I don't use too much, but it's really helpful when if I type something up on my MacBook and then I want to open it on here, I can actually go on because it's all linked through my university OneDrive account, and then I can just open it on here. So if I need it somewhere else with me, really handy. Also, I did used to have I do have one of the smaller Bluetooth keyboards that I used to use for my iPad. So before I had my MacBook, I used to connect that up and type documents out on my Word app on my iPad if I needed to type something. Since having my MacBook, I don't really use it as much, but like I said before, it's really handy if I do need it and I don't have my laptop with me, then it's all there too. Same for PowerPoint. My uni, we use PowerPoints, but they're on a different app, so I don't really tend to open them in there. but it's handy for if we're doing like a group project in uni and we need to make a PowerPoint. I have it for that. Yeah, Outlook is my university email, so everything to do with that is on there. And as you can see, I've got a fair few notifications which I've not opened. So over is the app that I used to make my headings on my GoodNotes Word document. I don't really tend to do it anymore because I just write over my notes, as I'll show you for uni. But I did always used to use over, especially when I was in sixth form, to make the pretty kind of font headings for my GoodNotes documents. And now I primarily use it to make like my thumbnails for YouTube. However, I still do it for university. So as you can see, here's my thumbnails that I've done. And then previous to this, I have like lots of my different titles that I've made. So for example, like gas exchange surface for when I did it in biology. It's just different things like that. But it's a really great app to use and it's free. I then have Flora. People will use Flora or Forest to do the timers, obviously on their phones or iPad to stop them from going on it. I don't really use it on my iPad, which is why I don't have Forest downloaded. I always used to use Flora, but I've kind of used all the levels up. So I've moved on to Forest, but I don't use it on my iPad because I'm always working on my iPad for university. If I'm going to use Flora or Forest, it'll be on my phone. I still just have it on there anyway. Then, of course, we have GoodNotes, which I use to do my notes for university. Some people use Notability, some people use GoodNotes. I don't think there's anyone that's better than the other. It's just kind of preference. So I chose to use GoodNotes purely just because it was the one I'd seen the most about when I got my iPad, and I just liked how it kind of looked on the iPad. It's literally as simple as that. So on my GoodNotes, as you'll have seen in my note-taking video, I just have it split up in my med school year 1, and then all just the different blocks and kind of topics that we've done. And then I will just pick one to show you. I will go gastrointestinal because that's one I've just done. Maybe not week 3, there's nothing in there. Week 2, and I'll just pick a random one. And as you can see, I just write over my slides like this. But yeah, that's what I use my GoodNotes for. That's basically the bulk of my note taking is on GoodNotes. If you want me to do a video on how exactly I use GoodNotes, then I can do. But obviously, I've got it in more detail on my how I take my notes video about GoodNotes. So I have the Books app because I was reading quite a lot more, obviously, in the first few lockdowns. I have slowed down a bit now because uni work's taken over. But on here, I just have the Amir Khan's The Doctor Will See You Now. That's what I read over Christmas. I finished the book. I don't know why is it saying I'm on chapter 1? Oh, it's because I finished it. So yeah, I've finished that book, but it's brilliant. Really recommend it. I then have Quizlet. I don't use Quizlet too much. I've mainly used it for A-level. As you can see on here, I've literally do not use it because I use Anki to do my flashcards. Anki you can buy on the iPad, but I think you have to pay like £25 for the app, whereas it's free on the MacBooks, so I just use it on there. So all my flashcards are on there. I do have Quizlet because some of like my friends in uni have made flashcards in med school, and then everybody kind of just shares and follows each other, so we can use each other's flashcards, which is a really nice way of doing it. So I do have the app just in case some of my friends like recommend some good flashcards. I have the HP Smart, which is just the app that I use to connect to my printer at home. SwiftScan is actually a really good app for the iPads because if I get given a sheet in uni, for example, if I go to my anatomy lessons and we get given like a worksheet, because all my notes are digital, I don't really want just like loose pieces of paper because I'll just lose them. So I can scan in the paper and put it into one of my GoodNotes documents so that I've got all my paper on my iPad and everything's still digital. I've done that so far as well with like things like forms that I've needed to upload, like for example, health questionnaires that we had to do for university, scanned that, uploaded it, and it's just a really useful app, so I really would recommend that. Then have OneDrive just for obviously sharing and saving my documents between my different devices. Most of my documents do share just with the iCloud, but it's always handy to have an extra backup on one. I've got a hair in my mouth. It's always handy to have an extra backup on OneDrive is what I was going to say. Then I have Blackboard, which is the app that I use for my university. That's how all of our lectures are given to us, all the PowerPoints. Basically anything we need is on Blackboard. I obviously can't show you that. I also have my Timetables app for the University of Liverpool, which has on all of my Zooms, like in-person teaching and things like that on there. I also have Kindle because some of the books I was reading I bought off Amazon rather than off the iPad bookstore. Let's see what I've got on there. It's The Doctor Will See You Now Again. Why was it on both? I swear I bought it on Amazon. Maybe it moves over to the book one too. Oh well. I also have Kahoot because in uni we use Kahoot quite a lot. Like lots of the different Zoom lessons will include Kahoot just as like a fun way to test our knowledge. And obviously everybody loves Kahoot, so it's a good way to learn. And finally, you'll see this thing called Anki app. Basically, I was a little bit stupid when I started med school. I heard everyone talking about Anki, assumed this was it, downloaded it, and then realised that it wasn't actually the actual Anki that everybody used, but it's a very similar type thing. So I do use the proper Anki on my MacBook, as I said before, but I didn't want to delete this one because I'd made some flashcards on there from the beginning of the year, and I just thought it'd be a waste to literally delete them all. So I still have it just in case I want to use that, even though I've transferred most of them over to the normal Anki. But yeah, that's why I have that one. But just warning, that is not the Anki that every medical student's on about. But it is a very similar way to use flashcards. And that is pretty much it for my productivity kind of apps on my iPad. I don't really use anything else. I obviously have my Apple Pencil, which is upstairs right now. I don't actually have it here, but I don't use any other apps than that. It's really simple, really easy, and everything that I've got in this section of my iPad allows me to literally share all my work between different devices and keep everything completely digital. If you do have any recommendations for any apps that I've not used, then please feel free to leave them in the comments, because I'm always looking for new apps that I can use to help with my studying. But that is pretty much it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If there's any other videos you'd like me to record, then please feel free to leave it below. As I said before, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and turn post notifications on. And also feel free to check out my Instagram. I'll leave my username here, but you can also DM me on there if you have any other questions too. But thank you very much for watching. Please check out some of my other videos, and I will see you next week. Bye!